with Joyce. Did she come in?
Yes, Praise she's almost here.
Okay.
And she said the guest is planting.
Okay. So just one guest, right?
Yes, one guest.
As we talk about family, marriage, parenting, and fundamental life lessons.
In this age and time, I have also come to realize that when it comes to extramarital affairs, it has gotten so dynamic that a man can tell his wife, I am not sleeping with another woman, and he's telling the truth, but he's having an affair with another man. A woman can tell the man the same thing, but he's having an affair with another woman. This one called this one when a man allows himself to begin to lose feelings for the wife. So join us every Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. for the program Live Session to Talk.
Hi, wonderful listeners out there. You are welcome to another exciting edition of Life Essential Talk, where we talk about the essentials of life, and today is not an exception. I am your host, Uche, and I'm delighted to have you with us. Well, joining me soon will be my co-host, Joyce Angels. She's still on her way. Well, today's discussion is one that concerns everybody, every family, every community, and indeed the future of our nation. Our topic is raising sons right. Wow. The father's role in building responsible men. This topic is particularly very important because we live in a generation where many boys are struggling with identity, with peer pressure, with social media influence, substance abuse, pornography, violence, and lack of positive male role models. Research has shown that boys who engage in maladaptive behaviors do not have a positive male figure in their life. So you see that this topic is very essential. The truth is this: when fathers intentionally raise their sons, families become safe, families become stronger, society becomes safer, and the future becomes brighter. So stay with us because today's discussion promises to be enlightening. And to help us understand this topic clearly and give us that professional guidance, we are honored to have in the studio a man who is passionate about raising leaders and building healthy families. Our guest is Mr. Andrew Echono. He is a family life coach. He's a family life expert, a leadership and mentorship coach. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes. Wow, it's so nice to have you on the show again. You have been here, and it's so nice to have you here once again.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Now, we also have another guest, Mrs. Ngozi Adiola. She will be calling in. She's not here with us, but she would be calling in to give us her wonderful contributions. Well, before we call her in, we have to talk a little bit more before we bring her into the conversation. All right, so Mr. Chono, let's not waste time at this time. All right, so who is a father? When we talk about father, daddy, who is a father beyond biology? And why is he so important in the son's life?
Thank you very much. And before I start, I want to issue a disclaimer.
Okay.
In case somebody at home is listening to me and they feel I'm talking to them, I am not talking to you.
At all.
But if you feel touched by what I'm saying today,
Yes.
then it means we need to make some adjustments.
True.
And I also need to quickly add that whatever I'm saying here today, I'm also struggling with. I'm
Yes.
a father in active service.
Exactly.
And I think I'm very qualified to talk about this topic.
True.
Because I'm a father and I have 4 boys.
Yes.
So talking about father and sons, yeah, I think I'm eminently qualified to, share my own experience and to talk, a bit about it. So talking about fathers, Father's Day just came past recently, and I had a conversation with a friend, and we were trying to distinguish between a father and a man.
Oh, okay.
And for us, it's not just enough to be a man in the house. Because what we now came to realize is that we have some homes that have the man of the house, and then we have other homes that have, fathers in them. And so, we jokingly said, maybe that's why we have International Men's Day and Father's Day.
Yes.
So that if you don't qualify to celebrate Father's Day, even though you have children, join the men. So we just jokingly talked about it, and it got me thinking that truly there is a difference between a man in the house and a father. Because we have so many homes where we have the man present, but he's not performing the role of a father.
True.
Because fatherhood is not a title, it is a role.
It's a rule.
And a role that has been handed down directly from God
Yes.
to all men. And so every man that has children, whether boys or girls, should step into that role, as a father. And the best way to carry out that role is to lead by example. So a father, by definition, is, I think, again, during the Father's Day, I saw an acronym for fatherhood that now made me started to think that maybe this is what fatherhood is about. They broke down the spelling of father, and they said the first one is that F stands for faithful, which means a father should be faithful to their commitment at home. Whether it's to the wife or to the children, they have to be faithful and be committed to their role at home. We are told that the A stands for accessible. As a father, you must be accessible to your children. Whether you like it or not, you'll be there. You have to be accessible because there's a difference between being present and being accessible. You might be in the house, you are present all the time, but you are still not available. Whether it's accessible or available, you have to be there for the children.
Yes.
Whether boys or girls. But today we are focusing on the boys because that's the job for the day.
Yes.
You must be a teacher, which is the T. Teach your children, teach your boys morals. Teach them by example. You have to live by honor, which is the H. Every father should be a honorable man, which is H. You must be honorable. You cannot build a honorable boy without being a honorable person yourself. You cannot give what you don't have.
Exactly.
So you must live with honor. You must be an educator, which is the E. You must educate your children on all spheres of life. And then the last one is that you must be responsible. which is the R. So for me, I took that ballpark as the definition of who a father is, beyond just having children. And that is why we talk about men and fathers. We have so many men in the society, but very little fathers. Just like they say, too many chefs are not enough Indians, or too many cooks are not enough Indians. We need to have more men, more fathers in the society,
yes.
building men for the future, or building fathers for the future. That is, in a nutshell, what I tend to be, or who I tend to be a father.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much for that definition. In fact, you have just covered everything we need to know about who a father is. All right, so let's take this break, and when we come back, we'll bring in our next guest. Don't go anywhere. All right, dear listeners, if you have been listening, this is Life Essential Talk on Radio Maria, and we have been talking about raising sons right, the father's role in building responsible men. And our guest, Mr. Andrew Echono, has said something very substantial about this topic. He just defined father in a nutshell. I hope you listened. If you didn't, please continue listening because we have a whole lot to unpack. All right, so my amazing co-host is now here, Joyce Angel. Joyce Angel, it's so nice to have you here. Please apologize to our listeners.
Good evening, Abuja. I'm so sorry. In fact, I don't know how to start the apology.
No.
I am so sorry for being late, and I was just held up a little bit. So
Yes.
but I'm here now.
Yes, it happens. All right, so I think it's time for us to bring in our second guest, Dr. Adiola Ngozi Adedoja. Hello, ma'am. Hello, my beautiful madam. Can you hear us? Yes, we can hear you now. It's so good to have you on the show. Yes, she is a counselor. She is a veteran counselor, has been a counselor for so long. So she's here to share her experience, to share her knowledge with us. All right, so Dr. Adiola, I hope, did you listen to what our guest said initially? All right. So we would love to hear from you. What do you think at this time are the major roles that fathers should instill in their sons?
Before I start, some appreciate the fact remains that the role of a father cannot be overemphasized in the life of their sons, especially, or in the life of the family. The fathers, as you said, are seen as head figure in the family. But their role to the sons is very, very key. Very, very key. In that they are like role models to their sons. Whatever the sons take father do, they emulate.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the fathers particularly have the role of, I will have to itemize them here now.
Okay.
They have the role of being the provider in the family,
Mhm.
you know, the role of being overprotective, and then the role of discipline.
Okay.
The same as disciplinarian. Being protectors in the family,
Yeah.
like they are a figure where in fact in a family where we have sons especially, fathers are like the edge over anything they want to go wrong or both negatively, especially in the family, they are overprotective.
Okay.
And looking at being the provider, it is seen that no matter how you think, that oh, that is it, it's like a cultural belief that you have to be providing for every member of the family. And these children, the sons especially, want to that and want to also be like their father.
Okay.
You know, the boy doesn't become a man just like that. Because the father used fathers are fathers, they are male, they are also husbands. So it's a category where they find themselves respect a lot. Especially to the son, because we are streamlining it.
Yes, to the sons, yes.
Yes. The role they have, the sons want to be like their father, like a role model.
Yes.
So they watch everything the fathers are doing and they emulate them exactly. If it's a father that is not responsible, sorry to use the word, that talks anyhow, whatever behavior the father portrays in the family, you see the sons taking after them.
True.
So if and that is where fathers have to be very careful on whatever they do in the family. Because whatever they do, they will live up to that in life. The next thing to guide their sons, monitor the weight
Yeah.
in the society and even within the family. They try to protect them not to go astray,
Okay.
not to go joining other gangs. You know, they are just overprotective. That's one thing about fathers. Then secondly, they provide for the family. As a provider, they make sure the son try to work engaging themselves to be very, very responsible.
Okay.
Yes. And then they also we also see them as a great leader. For instance, when you have a family where there are so many boys, where maybe mother, for instance, I'm sorry bringing any mother here now, over papa his son, and the father comes in, maybe from the far gate or wherever the father is coming in, and look, our daddy is coming in, everybody stays over, face to face. The disciplinarian is coming. He doesn't do this. He wants everything to be done very right, very correct. So if a father is disciplined, it will reflect in the children, especially in their son. So I think the role of a father is enormous.
Yes.
Very, very enormous. Yes.
Well, thank you, ma'am, for your contribution. We really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for joining us at this time. If you can still stay put, if you can still stay with us, no problem. But if you think you need to do some other things, no problems at all. Thank you so much for your contribution. We really appreciate you. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so Mr. Okay, oh, that's beautiful. Then I'll call on you again. All right, so Mr. Andrew, you heard her.
Yeah, definitely.
You heard she, will I say, enumerated and also explained a little bit the major roles fathers should play in the lives of their sons. I want you to add to that the key values is still in line with the major roles. The key values that fathers should intentionally instill in their sons. I want to hear from a father.
Yeah. Just to take a cue from doctor,
Yes.
that area of discipline is very, very critical.
Okay.
Because that is what shapes every boy.
Yes.
When a boy is not disciplined, there's going to be problem not only to the family but to the society at large.
Yes.
So the discipline should be deliberately instilled in every boy.
Okay.
And by discipline, we begin to train our kids on, deprive them of certain things that makes them strong. We need to build resilient men, young boys, growing into men and responsible men. And so we need to instill discipline. That is one. For me, one very critical, feature that every father should instill in their children is respect. Respect for me is very, very important. And I rank it in this way. Number one, they must respect God.
Okay.
They must, whether we call it fear or respect, they have to fear God. That is number one. Number two, they must respect women. Because we are having a society
Very important.
where, no, it's, respecting women is something that makes every, man, responsible. If you are, no matter how,
They need to hear this.
no matter how good a man you are, if you don't respect women, not your wife, women generally,
You need to
Forget
rephrase
it.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, you need to emphasize. Let me come in here, Mr. Echono, because you have really touched something. And I want Doctor to also say something about this. Because so many men think that respecting a woman is bringing... Exactly, that's the word.
Yeah.
Is weakness. And they do not instill that in. You can see some children, young,
They'll tell you I'm the man of the house.
not even that. They will try to look down on somebody they're supposed to respect because their fathers did not instill that in them.
Yeah.
And I think it's very, very important. I sincerely regard a man. I hold a man in high self-esteem, a man who respects women. I hold them in high esteem, rather.
Yes.
I do that a lot because it tells a whole lot about the man. It says that this man is confident.
Yes.
It says that this man knows who he is. It doesn't bring down the man. So I think this is a very good one. Before you continue, I want Dr. Adiola to say something about this.
Yes. Dr. Chana, if I give you everything, you just broke my mind. Fathers will teach their children how to respect because they watch them. That's why they as fathers will also be very careful on how they speak to anybody around them, especially to their wives at home. These children watch everything that happens and they relate fast.
Very fast.
You teach a son how to handle this comfort, not the other way around.
Yes.
A responsible man can sit with hard things without spitting. You let the child say, there's some things you don't even respond to, you don't even anger. But when a man is anything you are out of your schooling and all of that, the son is looking, he's watching, and he's learning. Whatever he sees the father does, so he will do.
Yes.
And before you get scobbing it might be too late. Like a father that will be drinking, drunkard, and the son is watching. And there's no how you could just shape or go away from it.
Yes.
But when you are a responsible father, the son will definitely absorb those habits.
All right. So, okay.
Show up, you will do a lot of things that will be
Mm.
in their life.
True.
So the man, we say man, husband, father. There are three different things.
Yes.
And I don't understand. A father should know that there is one called care, love, affection, patience, and so on and so forth. But a man can just be a figure, a bully. I am the head, not even minding the offspring. A idea of
Yes. We have just said it all. Yes.
no matter what it is, no matter where they find themselves, they should be very, very responsible and conscious that they
Yes.
have some watching them.
True. Thank you for that.
Mr. Andrew, that was a very sensitive one for me. That was why I had to chip in because it's a problem. Yes,
It is
it's a
an
problem.
epidemic. I mean, we are seeing an epidemic in society today where a lot of men have become more or less, I call them devils. Because no matter, even if you respect God and you don't respect women, you are still a devil to me. Because that is what makes a man a father. If you are a man listening to me and you don't respect your wife, you don't regard your wife, sorry for you. You are going nowhere. If you want to grow, if you want to flourish, you must treat every woman in your life, especially your wife, like God. And that is why after God, I
It's
place
women.
women.
Oh,
Yes.
God. And our sons need to.
And all boys
need
need to hear this.
Oh, they need to.
All boys. And I tell my boys, I don't just tell them, I show it. And I used to joke that the way I look at my kids, they may get married very early because of the way I treat their mother. Yes,
Oh,
because
my goodness.
and that is why any man, whether he's my relation or somebody I don't know, that doesn't regard his wife, that man can never be my friend. So we do not have anything in common. So for me, topmost is a society where fathers teach their sons how to respect God and respect women. If they respect God and they respect women, every other thing falls into place. And that is number one, the solid foundation you can give to any boy in society. Any boy that respects women will always be a calm, gentleman growing up. But we see children these days, I'm beginning to see some kids these days, they're becoming violent towards their sisters, towards other girls. And if you check those boys very well, back home, you realize that their fathers talk down on their mothers.
True, yes.
And they treat their mothers with disregard.
True.
And I tell people, no matter how much you educate your boys, and you don't give them that one, they're only going to become clever devils in the future.
Oh.
So we must instill this in every male child that we have. Beyond making them resilient, because we need to build stronger men. Strong men, not to be strong enough to beat a woman, but to carry a woman. That is why they need strength. They need to be resilient to carry their families, not to beat down their families. So we build respect in them, we build resilience in them, we build humility in them, because without humility, a man can never respect a woman.
That's true. That is very true.
You can never respect a woman.
That is very true.
Because, of course, every man thinks, okay, I'm the head of the family.
Yes.
So why should I submit or, listen to my wife for any reason or one reason or the other? So we must build humility. They must learn the virtue of humility. And I tell people, humility does not fall from heaven. It is learned by the way we live our lives, the things we let go. That is how we build humility. Because when you have a man that, when, of course, we get to the point where, there will be heated argument, where the man doesn't feel the need to raise their hand or even their voices. And I believe that even husbands or fathers can have, same arguments with their wives without necessarily raising their voices. And so that is the kind of society I personally want to see, where men consistently train their children. They live by example. I was reading a quote one day where a man was saying that my father never taught me how to live. He lived and let me watch him do it. So no matter how much you preach to somebody, no matter how much you say, if they don't see you doing it, it means nothing to them.
Especially children.
Yes,
Yes, it means nothing to them. So you must be seen to be living what you preach. Recently, I was talking to a group of children. I was telling them that I was in a motor park one day, and I saw these two pastors were fighting. Why were they were preaching, these pastors that preach at the motor park, and they were fighting. Why? Because one said the other one took his turn. And so, when they had this couple, they started fighting. And in the end, one of them yielded to the other one. And the guy came to the boss to preach, and they told him to get out. Because he cannot be preaching to them, and he's just fighting with somebody else. So you lose the moral standing or compass to talk to anybody when you don't practice what you preach. So even if you don't preach it, just leave it. They see you. Some of us became what we are today because we watch our fathers. No matter what my father says, no, it's what he's doing I'm looking at. And most of what I became, right, in life, or what I am becoming, is sometimes I just subconsciously feel like my father still living. Because some of the things he did are exactly what I'm doing. The way he used to write notes, if you check my pocket every time, you see a piece of paper, and you see, this is what my father does. He writes something and puts in his pocket, and that's how subconsciously, I just thought there would be a paper in my pocket that I've written something, and that's what it was. Because I watched him do this over time, it became part of me. If my father was a woman beater, an absent father, I bet you today I won't be sitting here talking to anybody. So fathers should learn to live and let their children watch them do it.
I hope men are listening. I hope they are listening. I'm really passionate about this, and I am feeling a bit emotional about it, because a lot of men need to hear this. When you're humble, it doesn't mean that you're weak. That's what they need to understand. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't. There's no way humility is related to weakness. I don't think so.
Humility is the biggest strength you can have. You don't know what it means for somebody to talk down on you and you walk away without doing anything. That is humility. Somebody backs at you when you know you have the strength to crush them, and then you walk away. I saw a picture recently that was very profound to me. An ant was insulting an elephant, and the elephant looked at the ant and said, even though I have everything to crush you, I will let you be. And the elephant walked away. It is only humility that can make a whole elephant walk away from an ant.
Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. Before you say something, because Joyce Angels, I know you're itching to talk, I want to bring in Dr. Adiola again. Hello, ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I want you to still add something to this. Still mention one or two values that you think men should instill in their children.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kenna. Love and war. Men should be present in the life of their children, especially their sons.
Yes.
Not rest in the house, but in their life. They should be present. They should be able to tell them exactly the way things are. They should not think it. So that these children, when they go outside, they always remember the friend. My father. They watch them, they watch their father, and then they learn how to handle responsibility. Failure, respect, as we have been saying, and strength. If they are not strong, if they didn't see it with their father as responsible, they will not be able to portray or defend or stand out in the society. So they need this time. The father should have time. Spend time with the son, with their son or their boy. Wisdom. They should be create, they make them feel that, they explore open all their mind.
Yes.
Become men in future. Not white Peter, not what I call it, abusive, They should know the difference. I am so happy what Mr.
Echono.
Echono. Yes, said. Yes. That it's not going to happen. Assuming his father is white Peter, he wouldn't be in.
True.
never the same. So, and I'm so happy to say that no matter how difficult it was to become, men should be responsible, so that they are all their sons will be a replica of who they are
True.
in the society.
True.
Thank you, Dr. Adiola. Okay, you're still all right.
Be able to face and be able to, get themselves suited in situations without being lured.
Mm.
So all these things is just around where they are coming from, who their father is. It's so shocking in the world today.
Okay.
If we have all responsible men, I don't think we will have this crisis we are having.
No, I don't think so. Joyce Angel, what do you have to say?
Just like she just said, like if we have more responsible men, or even if we have like 90% of responsible men, definitely. And just like Mr. Andrew has said, it starts from the young age. Like you don't expect a father, just like he said, if his father did not instill those knowledge in him, like those good characters in him, definitely he won't be the good man he is today. So definitely the starting point is not just we talking to the boys, but it's actually to the men, just like they're saying, because if you want to raise very responsible children, boys, definitely the fathers need to be more responsible. And sometimes I do tell people you can't give what you don't have. Exactly, because there are some fathers that they were not even trained, if I should say that. Sorry to use that word, but most fathers are absent in the lives of their children. In the same way that by the time they now grow up, definitely they can't give presents that they did not get.
Yes.
So definitely, if we want very responsible boys, it has to start from talking to all the fathers, even as much as maybe your parents were not present in your life. We listen to books, we have talk programs like this, you hear them. So even as much as they couldn't do better, you can actually do better to build a better society. Because there is this movie that I watched that some people, that a group of men, they gather, and what they usually do is they try to groom the boys. What these men do is to groom the boys to be a better responsible father, to be responsible men in the society. But just like he mentioned that most of the guys, if you don't respect a woman, definitely, in fact, hellfire is just close to you. So if some of these men, that there are some people that will be out there saying maybe the father, my father did not train me, my father did not teach
It's
me
not
this.
an excuse.
It's not an excuse
Yes.
at all. That's what I wanted to add. It's not an excuse. You too can do better. You can even take as example, knowing fully well that this boy that I'm training, this child that I'm training, is not just for my own good, but for the good of the society.
Yes.
If this boy becomes a nuisance today, definitely the society is actually receiving the outcome of your irresponsibility. So let's now think about a better world. In other words, that's why we have mentorship programs. So most of the times, even if the father is absent or maybe you didn't get that grooming, you can also put that child through, give that child that mentorship of, okay, this is how a boy should be able to behave in order to get a better society in the nearest future.
All right. Thank you very much, Joyce, for adding that. All right. So I think it's time for us to open our phone line because our time is quite spent. Let's open our phone line.
All right, the number to call is 081 084 47518. 081 084 47518. That is for calls. Then for the SMS is 070
Okay.
67973508. For SMS and WhatsApp messages only. 070 we'll have a call. Okay. All right. Please send me your message and SMS.
Yes. Okay. Let's take this break, and once we return, we continue with this very interesting conversation. Don't go anywhere. And we have been talking about raising our sons right. Fathers building their sons into responsible men. And Mr. Echono has said a whole lot. Our other guest, Dr. Abiola, has also said a whole lot. So before we continue, before we let in our contributors, our listeners to make their contributions, let's take something else from Dr. Adiola.
Thank you once again, Dr. K. I want to really leave this with the men, with the fathers.
Okay.
I want them to know that father is not just to provide money, but direction, discipline, and identity. Teach their son the strength and not violence, to respect and not option, no option. That emotions are not weakness.
Okay.
That a real man could and not destroyed.
Yes.
And when they are this, I think the world will be a good place to stay.
True.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your contributions. Thank you. And I hope you'll come again when I call on you. I hope so, Mom. Are you still there? Okay, she has gone. All right. So thank you, Dr. Adiola, for staying with us. Thank you so much for your contributions. All right, we have this call. Let's take this call. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
Thank you. My name is Ibrahim Maruf. I'm calling you from Nigeria-Abuja.
You're welcome to the show. Let's hear your contribution, please.
Yeah, thank you. I think Dr. Adiola said everything, and Mr. Echono said everything. I'm a father of 2 boys and 2 lovely girls, available girls. Who you have is what you will reproduce. They said a lot of qualities that an ideal father, a good father, not just a biological father, should have. They said everything, but I would just like to add 1 or 2.
Yes.
One of the noble virtues, one of the noble values a father should put in his son is integrity.
Okay.
Saying the truth. You see, in our society here, there are not even fathers, mothers who are all guilty of telling lies, whether white lies, outright lies, or half truth. When we should be truthful. That is what, in fact, integrity is everything. When you inculcate it into your son and your daughters, they leave you to go far in life. They even hold themselves accountable in whatever they do. Whether not to beat a woman, not to do this, not to do that. Integrity is the key word. And let me relate this with you.
Okay.
Even when you are driving as a father, when I'm driving as a father, I'm disciplined not to beat traffic lights. When my children are in the car, even when they are not in the car, that is integrity. And when I'm driving, my children are seated behind the car,
Yes.
someone calls me, where are you? I had a friend before, where I was driving, he was sitting before, someone called me. Our children are behind. If we like to be that it's in the background, where are in Abuja? So what is it teaching the children? So don't tell your children to lie, and you also don't tell lies.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say, but let me allow them to talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being that considerate.
We have another call. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, or good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
My own name is Samuel.
Okay, please go ahead.
Samuel, anyone you can call. Those people that are spoken, including the one that just then are really spoken well. But sometimes the grace of God is what we needed on these children. You have 5 kids, they are all sons, they are all male. And suddenly you just find one of them misbehaving. In a situation like that, how do you now tell people that you have 4 that are not behaving like that? No, and sometimes when I look at it as a Christian, and look at what is in the Bible that God says, He will have mercy on whom He will have mercy, and compassion on whom. I will look at it. We are still praying, me and my wife, for that single one that is, I say, graduate, is even working. But it's not like his mother. And they went through the same thing in their house. So when teenagers go to the place of God, that means that one wanted to just show us how great God is. And I know you will say that one is 4 months. And thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. So we didn't get the last part.
Yeah.
Mr. Andrew, did you really get what you said?
Yeah, I think I understood what you were saying.
Oh, okay, let's take this call. Please hold on to your thoughts.
Hello.
Hello, Radio Pioneer.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
Okay, my name is Oscar. I'm calling from Guarimpa.
All right, Mr. Oscar, you're welcome to the show. Let's hear your contribution.
Thank you. All the speakers have spoken well, especially this last person, because I also want to say in topics like this, we should always make it together, maybe father and mother, because sometimes we fail to understand that they both should do their work together. You understand? If we separate these topics and concentrate on father, it will be as if some mothers are innocent. I want to say, unfortunately, I have to say this on air, that I never grew up as good as I am with a good father. But my mother did excellently well. We say a lot of things that, yes, we saw them, but we didn't believe it. You know, when you see things and your mother may convince you not to believe that this is who your father is. I don't know if you understand.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
So, let's put these topics together. Mother and father, their roles in their child.
Okay.
So I would say my mother did excellently well not to make us take that path and to also make us understand that we can do better than this. You understand?
Yes.
So I say it's a very beautiful topic, but we should merge it together, not just take the role of a father separately and the role of a mother separately, because they work hand in hand. Both parents need to discipline their child, or team up to discipline a child, or support this one should support this one, and this one should support this one. I am a father. I sometimes watch when my wife will say, "Don't do that," and my child will just want to act like you've not said enough. And I will look at that child, and she will understand that I am in support of what her mother is saying. Sometimes I will do the same, and that child wants to show some stubbornness, and the mother will be like, your daddy will beat you, and I will not, stop him. You understand?
Yes.
So they both should collaborate and raise the child. And where the father is not doing enough, I wish my mom is with me. I hope I make it in life to bless her. Because there is a lot of things that I would say my dad did that I told myself I will never do this. Because my mom made me to understand that this is not the right thing. You understand?
Yeah,
We saw
thank you.
it, but we don't see this.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can also feel the passion in what you said. All right. So, okay.
We have some messages. Okay, you want that?
Yes, I want you to come in at this time. I want you have heard everything
Yeah.
that they said. What do you think? What can you chip in at this
Yeah,
time?
so I agree with everybody. Like this topic is an open topic.
Yes.
We all have something to say on this. Just to quickly react to some of them. The last caller um, said the mothers also perform a role, and I agree completely. You know, when we talk about father, you know, we built what a father should be like, and that is why some mothers are actually performing their role.
Yes.
So when we say during the last Father's Day, I sent a woman happy Father's Day message because when I sent, my wife was laughing. I said because that woman is a father.
Oh.
So father does not mean man, and that's why I said man and father at the beginning, because a woman can be a father as well. If a man refuses to perform that role, a woman will perform it, and that woman will be a father, because you know that's the description. The other caller was talking about, you know, having 5 children and then one. Look, I tell parents like myself, make sure you have done your best for all of them. If you have satisfied all what you're supposed to do and one of them decides to choose a path, it is not on you anymore.
Yeah.
Because whether you like it or not, children will have to, we encourage them to also have their own identity. So, and some, you know, children might say, I don't want to be like my parents. They can choose their life. I tell people, I'm a product of many men, not one man. I picked a lot from different people. I say, oh, I like this one, I like what this one is, I like this, and I brought it together. Yeah. So children can also take that path. They can decide to be their own person. But as parents, I say, do what is within your control and make sure you have done your best. If you satisfy your best, God will not hold you responsible for, you know, the behavior of any child that decides to go their way. And then your conscience will be very clear. And that is, for me, that is what matters.
Thank you so much. So let's quickly take the messages.
The messages that we have. Okay, all right. This one says, hello Radio Maria. I hail. This topic is thick and deep. I never had any of these qualities from my dad. I learned everything from outsiders. Daniel, 22 years old, from Airport Road, Abuja.
Thank you. Just hold on to her. You see, you said something.
Yeah.
You said something about it. I want you to emphasize
So
a little on
what I
that.
was saying is, I am a product of many men, not one man, not my father. Not only my father. I picked some from my father. I picked some from other men, and that's why I tell men, look, as you are living, other children are also looking at you, not just your own children. And you would see something in somebody that you feel, oh, I need to take this on.
Yes.
And whether I like it or whether it's positive or negative, you know, you are building somebody else without knowing.
Yes.
And those men, there's one of them, he lives in Kogi today. And I told my wife recently that I will look for that man because I need to make him know that this virtue, I took it from him without even knowing.
Is there another message?
Yes. All right, this one says, good evening, Radio Maria. I am Victoria from, it just come there. And I said, what I have to say is that fathers should teach their sons how to be faithful. Have seen where a guy told me that he can marry many wives as he likes. Of course, his father married more than one wife. Another one, it said, good evening, everyone. I am Michael T. from Idu. This is interesting indeed. As for me, my mother is the role model of moral behavior to me more than my father. However, I thank you so much for your time spent just to impart such a wonderful and free education to us listeners. Bye.
Wow, thank you. So now I need you to give us your final word to fathers out there.
So, to all fathers, here's what I would say. We can see that some of our children are actually giving credit to their mothers rather than to their father, which is a big challenge for us as fathers. It means that we need to step into our role. We need to step into the leadership position that God has given us. It is a clear sign that we are abdicating our responsibilities to our wives. You know, and then the children are now looking up to them as role models rather than us as the men. We need to take up this as a challenge. And that's why I say at the beginning that I'm also speaking to myself. It's a collective thing. We all need to stand up, take our position as men, as leaders, right? Not as rulers of our families, and take our families to the promised land.
Wow, this is the part you ended it excellently.
Excellently.
Thank you so much, Mr. Andrew Echono. Thank you for saying yes every time we call you. your words really have impacted a whole lot of people out there. I'm also, like you said, nobody is will I say island of knowledge. We all learn every day, and I've also learned a whole lot from all that you have said at this time. Thank you so much, and may God continue to bless you. Thank you to Dr. Ngozi Adiola for your profound contributions. I hope you'll come again when you are invited. All right, so I think, and to our listeners who contributed, thank you so much.
And both those online.
And those online, thank you so much. And those who couldn't call in, those who tried to call in but couldn't call in, those that were called, their calls were cut short. So sorry, it's just because of the time. Thank you so much for everything, for listening to Life Essential Talk. We really appreciate you. All right, so from Joyce Angel and I will say bye, bye, bye. See you next time. Bye.
Sandra,
Compliment.
thank you.
It's just, I see the time was too short. When she raised the 5 minutes,
It was gone already. Thank God. Yeah, time to get on to other things.
It had ended. I was seeing it with